You're only 90 days away from radically changing your life. And the question isn't how you're going to do that, it's what you're going to do in that 90-day time frame, because you have two options over the next 90 days. Option one, dream about improving parts of your life, then wait, hope, and spend weeks building the perfect plan to feel productive but take zero action. Or option two, dream about improving your life and get 1% better every day to make that change happen. Now, 96% of people will take the option of route one, and here's why. You haven't trained yourself to act without motivation or confidence, so you wait for the perfect time, perfect plan, or the perfect circumstances that aren't coming. Well, momentum loops is what got me out that procrastination cycle. You don't need confidence, you need momentum. Action creates momentum, momentum creates proof, and proof creates self-belief. And the more self-belief you have, the more action you're going to take. So here's 4 ways to build momentum in your life to radically change it over the next 90 days. Step one, progress stacking. You know what you need to do, but you don't do it. Here's my simple, effective solution. Start with just 5 minutes. Looking at a task at its whole makes it way too daunting to actually start doing it. Whereas when you break it down into micro chunks, it takes out the overwhelm and makes it a lot more accessible to actually start and do. So, for example, going to the gym would turn into just getting your gym bag ready, or scripting a YouTube video would turn into just creating the YouTube title of the video. And reading a chapter of a book would just start with reading one page of a book. Because when you take these micro chunks, what's going to happen is you're going to build that small momentum. And that momentum is obviously going to give you the confidence to keep going. And that refers to the whole concept of the momentum loops that I'm talking about. Step two, focus on 1% daily improvements. If you get just 1% better over the next 90 days, you'll be 90% better at the end of it. Looking at a goal from A to Z just makes it too overwhelming and too complex to start. So instead, just focus on the one next step you can take. What you want to do is you want to reverse engineer your goals and look at the inputs, the daily and weekly inputs you need to get there. So, for example, if you wanted to build an audience from writing online, what you could do or your daily input would be to write for at least 2 hours every day. And for another example, if you wanted to build muscle, your weekly input would be to lift a certain amount of weight, so maybe a 10-kilogram dumbbell, and to increase it every week to make sure that you're increasing the weight and progressively overloading the muscle. By doing this, what it's going to do is it's actually going to keep you consistent, because just getting 1% better every day isn't too overwhelming. So you're actually going to stay consistent over the next 60, 90, 120 days, not just sticking for it for 30 or 60 days. Step three, build consistency before intensity. There's no point starting something if you can't stick with it long term. Staying consistent is honestly your secret weapon to achieving your goals. A great example of this is we've all been there where we're trying to lose weight, so we start eating salads and cut our calories like crazy. Then about 2 to 3 days later, you're back to square one, back to your normal eating habits, because you ramped up the intensity by radically reducing the calories, but you didn't build the consistency. And so the problem there is the consistency. So what you would want to do instead is, instead of radically cutting your calories, you'd want to reduce your calories by 100 or 250 calories per week, and then take a progress approach to it. So the next week you would then reduce your calories by another 100 or 200 calories. And you would do that every week until you obviously hit your goal of reducing your weight by a certain amount. And that's a much better approach to take, because ramping up the intensity without actually being consistent with it is just going to burn you out, and you're just not going to stay consistent with doing it. Step four, train your brain to act. Your brain is wired to stay in a cozy comfort bubble. Why? Because that's where you're safe. The problem is, this has trained your brain to avoid doing hard things. But acting without motivation isn't a trait or something that you don't have. It's simply a learnable skill. And the more that you can reduce the gap between your thinking and taking action is honestly what's going to actually change your life the most, because that's where most of your progress is going to come from. Because that's where most people, including myself, get stuck in life, is they think about doing all these things with the goals, but it's really the execution is going to make the big difference for you. But if you enjoyed this video, then thank you for watching and subscribe for more.